Hello, freaks, geeks, degenerates, and basement dwellers. Welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Skruffytalez. And we're gonna be taking a look at the front lines: Sumy, Kupyansk, Lyman, and Pocrovsk. But the most interesting news from this weekend is that Ukraine potentially has pushed Russia back to the Russian border in Sumy Oblast. The Russians are being continuously pushed back, losing ground, and Ukraine might have reached the border to Russia, pushing the Russians out of Sumy Oblast at a very specific location. Not the entirety, but at one location. And then we're gonna jump down and take a look at the other places like Kupyansk and Lyman as well. And then towards the end we will focus a bit on Pocrovsk. Ukraine is pushing in on certain bridges, and Russia has made a rather large counter move south of Novo Ekonomichne. So let's take a look at it. Right, so my map for the Sumy situation. Zooming in to the west here, we know that Ukraine is back in control of Stepny and Novo Konstantinivka. Interesting, since these two towns or villages are right on the border. But taking a look what's inside of Russia. Russia doesn't have that many options moving up to these two villages, so it's not that weird that they might not have had all these many options in moving in and securing them. And the same thing goes for over here. Now it's getting really interesting. They have Konstantinivka, Novo Konstantinivka over here, Konstantinivka over here. They're still holding on to it. You can see there's wide open spaces between the Russians and Ukrainian positions, which explains why Ukraine might have issues pushing into this border town. But Ukraine is advancing around these lakes north of this big hill. This the top of the hill is up here, and then there's a downward slope towards these lakes. And of course, the valleys surrounding the hill here is an indication where you have the other edges of the hill. But now the entirety of the surrounding area with these lakes are contested. So Ukraine is obviously trying to push in here and pushing the Russians back. And if they do so, they have effectively pushed Russia back to the border in Sumy Oblast. A massive propaganda win. Huge. What it means strategically, maybe not all that much, but I mean the propaganda victory of being able to tell the Ukrainian population that we pushed Russia back to the Russian border should not be underestimated. That propaganda win should not be underestimated. This is also an area where the Russians have issues supporting their troops. I mean, take a look. Within Russia, you have only so many pathways reaching this part of Sumy Oblast, coming through these valleys and what have you, trying to avoid the open fields. So the Russians here are a bit isolated, and explains why Ukraine has been able to make the main push here in the western parts of Sumy Oblast. As you can see, just east of here you have wide open spaces, and it's difficult for the Russians to reinforce the areas surrounding this lake and south of it, which explains why Ukraine has been able to push as effectively as they have here outside of Counterattacks. Oleksivka is still holding. Ukraine is trying to push into the south, but the Russians are holding ground. The Ukrainians they're struggling to make headway within Oleksivka, even if they have taken the territory outside of it. Varachny is still under Ukrainian control. Ukraine has not been able to move up to Novomykolaivka. The Russians have pushed out of Yablonivka and taken this valley here, or parts of this valley I should say, but have not been able to dislodge the Ukrainians from Varachny itself. Russia has had success here in Yunakivka. They are basically in control almost of the entire town at this point. In the last week, making significant advances south in town, pushing the Ukrainians back. So the front line has sort of tilted, going up on the western side and then pushing down on the eastern side, with Varachny being the hub for this seesaw front line. This is Sumy where Ukraine stands a chance of having a great propaganda win if they manage to push the Russians back to the Russian border. Now we're gonna move over quickly to Kupyansk. Wrong map. Here we go. We used Mayakovsk 73 for this. Kupyansk. Where we can see that according to Mayakovsk 73, we have Russians pushing into town in the north. ISW says that Moskovka is under Russian control after the Russians had managed to push back out in this area. And we can also see here, most mappers agree that the bulge in here between Radkivka and Kindrashivka, where Ukraine had a presence here, has been dealt with, and the Russians are now more or less in control of this entire area here from Kindrashivka to Radkivka to Holubivka, which should ease up Russian logistics moving through this area, reaching Radkivka and supplying the front line, trying to push into Kupyansk. So yeah, Russia, slow progress, but they're continuously pushing in Kupyansk. Moving down to Lyman, like we've said before, this is an issue for the Ukrainians. Let's see here, we have Russians up here, and we have 6 to 7 kilometers down to the Oskil River. And what the Russians want to do, they want to push down, let's see if we can show you like this, to this small river here to secure these bridges, because if they do that, they've cut logistics from the north into Lyman. You can see here they're moving into these small towns here to secure these bridges. This river here will become a defensive barrier for the Russians, so that they can rely on it to hold the Ukrainians at bay, so that they can build up forces north of Lyman, so that they can make that push towards Lyman. When we look at the fortification map, we can see that east of Lyman, where Ukraine has built massive amounts of defenses, but there is a gap to the north, and the Russians are trying to push in through that gap, and in so doing also securing all the bridges, cutting Lyman off from the north. And then Lyman can only rely on the bridges down here, and there are more bridges over here over the Oskil. All of them are blown up, unfortunately. So Ukraine needs to build pontoon bridges, relying on their engineer corps to overcome the Oskil River. But no doubt about it, with all the bridges blown here in the south, Russia moving in to secure the river up here, Lyman is in trouble. And if Russia manages to secure the entire area here, the Oskil River, combined with this small river, will be a defensive barrier where the Russians can then build up artillery forces around Lyman and begin bombarding Kramatorsk and Sloviansk from the north. And I think it's a matter of time before the Russians are coming down this way. They're smelling blood. They know they're close. It's only 6 to 7 kilometers from reaching the Oskil, and very effectively cutting off Lyman from supplies. So I expect them to, in time, succeed in reaching the Oskil River. Kupyansk, Sloviansk. Yeah, now we're gonna head down to Pocrovsk. And we're gonna use my map for Pocrovsk. Moving down here. Pocrovsk area, what is going on? We have had some updates of late from the various mappers. We know Ukraine has been pushing down this valley here. They have pushed out into this valley, and meanwhile the Russians have secured the woods here right next to this lake, but they have been pushed back overall in the east of Shakova. Interestingly, we are seeing Ukraine making pushes north of Boykivka. They've come into Pankivka, reclaiming this town, or village rather. Ukrainians have been moving here on top of the ridge, threatening to reclaim these trench lines here on the top of this hill. And we also know that the Ukrainians have been trying to move into this valley here to put pressure on the Russian supplies going north into the Shakova pocket. Russia at the moment don't have many options in supplying the Shakovo pocket. And we're zooming in, we can see this is a big hill. I will actually show you. I'm gonna return to this in a moment, but we are in the area Shakovo. This is the ISW map. Let's see here. Mayak, yeah, and these are the trenches that I was talking about that Ukraine might be contesting. So as you can see here, you have a farm here, and this field here on top of this ridgeline is where the Russians need to move in order to support the Shakovo pocket, since the Ukrainians are trying to push into this valley to disrupt the Russian positions. Jumping back to my map, that's the farm I was talking about, the trench lines. So as you can see, I mean, for the Russians to coming up this way, it is dangerous. They need to move through here, but the Ukrainians are dangerously close, trying to push in to disrupt the Russians and their options and chances of moving troops, reinforcements, logistics, supplies to the Shakovo pocket. At the same time, we know Ukraine has been pushing in this area here. They have been inside of Boykivka, but chances are that Russia has secured Boykivka. We know Ukraine is coming in from the north towards Novotretsky. So this gives us intent. I'm not saying they have succeeded with anything, but the intent is clear, at least that they want to do basically a pincer move on the bridge here between Boykivka and Novotretsky. So the bridge here going across these marshes and the river, that is the objective for this pincer move towards Boykivka and Novotretsky. And this means that Ukraine cuts supplies or logistics very effectively across the river, reaching the Russian units to the west of that river. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, here you go. Here's the river and Boykivka, right? And that bridge. And with the Ukrainians coming down this way and trying to come in here. And as you can see, if they manage that, Russia doesn't have that many options at all in supplying their units west of that river. They have Razina, but as I'll show you here, Ukraine is trying to come in from the south to reach Razina. They have already disrupted Russians' ability to move across the Kasinya turrets here at this crossing point, since they are on the high ground here right at that bridge. So we have more or less effectively Ukraine succeeding with 3 encirclements: Kucherev Yar, the Kucherev Yar pocket, the Shakovo pocket, and the Rodinsky pocket. And we're hearing lots of reports that Russia is throwing everything in the kitchen sink, a kitchen sink more than likely stolen from a Ukrainian household, at this situation. They're moving in reinforcements, pulling troops from Sumy, which explains why Ukraine is gaining momentum in Sumy, and from Kherson and elsewhere, to help out with this situation, because they understand that these 3 pockets will be destroyed in time. They need to punch through the Ukrainian encirclements to relieve their forces. So that is what the Russians are trying to do. They're trying to keep these encirclements to fully enclose, basically. But the Ukrainians are doing a great job at the moment in slowly pushing in and tightening the noose on these 3 pockets. That said, though, in the south, like we saw on ISW's map there, Russia has, in the last 24-48 hours, made a big push, or it's a big push for the operational area, has to be said, and it is down here. Russia has tried to come out of Rodivka before. They made a thunder run along this road and came up this way, if you remember. So from here down here to over here, there was the thunder run where they tried to move in, deploy troops in these woods to cut off Mirolbivka and Novoekonomichne. Now they've tried something similar again, apparently much more effective, since these territories are now under Russian control, according to ISW. On Mayakovsk 73's map, we are seeing highlighted Ukrainian artillery strikes in this area over here, telling us that Russia has reached this far. So looks like this second push was more successful. They broke through. Ukrainians a couple of days ago reclaimed this factory or mine from Russian troops. Unclear if the Ukrainians are still holding it or if this is under Russian control once again. We're gonna have to wait and see confirmation of that. But Russia has moved in here to the south of Novo-Ekonomichne, and they are now in a position where they can move up this way to try and link up with their forces in this factory. And if they manage that, then Novo-Ekonomichne, Myryobivka, and Myrne are cut off, essentially. And I think that is what the Russians are trying to do. When Ukraine moved out to Myrne, the Russians realized that the Ukrainians could come up behind them, reach Kopcheve, essentially cutting the supply line leading from Boykivka down here instead. And I think the Russians allocated a lot of manpower to prevent that from happening when Myrne was the talking point. And that could have given the Ukrainians the opening to make the pushes up here. Because if you remember, when all of this began, I said there's no way in hell that Ukraine can push in here, because this is where the Russian forces will be the strongest. This is the breach point. They're going to secure it. We saw evidence of a massive artillery screen from Novichakova down to Nikhanorivka, telling us that the Russians were doing everything they could to keep the Ukrainians from moving through, since you had this massive artillery barrage ongoing here. So I thought there's no way in hell Ukraine can close this gap. This is where the Russians are going to have the most troops, securing the breach and moving through reinforcements northward. Then Myrne happened, and I think the Russians had to move troops down here to prevent the Ukrainians from coming up to Kopcheve and cutting the supply line. And that might have given Ukraine an opening to pushing on Boykivka. Yeah, okay, let's stay on it. And I think this push here towards Boykivka has been semi-effective, reducing the logistics moving through Kopcheve to Boykivka, because after pressure began on Boykivka, we saw Ukraine pushing in up here, indicating that Russia was not able to resupply as efficiently their troops in the Shakova pocket, giving Ukraine an opportunity to further pushing in to closing the noose on the Shakova pocket. So that's what's happening up here. Russia, since Myrne was such a threat, like I said, they moved a lot of troops from Boykivka and the Shakova pocket to deal and secure Myrne. Part of that included this thunder run. They first pushed up here around this lake, and then made the thunder run trying to come up behind Novo-Ekonomichne to cut off Myrne and the troops here. And this is, like I said, a long rant reaching this final conclusion that this is part of that same intent of coming up behind Novo-Ekonomichne, cutting off Ukraine in these towns and securing the threat that Myrne poses to Kopcheve. Make sense? Rambled on a bit there, didn't I? Jumping back and forth between all of these towns and various tactical maneuvers. But yeah, I think that's basically it. Russia is countering, trying to put pressure on this part of the battlefield to reduce the threat of Myrne that Myrne poses to Kopcheve. And in so doing, they can then begin allocating troops back up to Boykivka and Mayak to secure this bridge, secure Radzina, so they can bring logistics and reinforcements across this river that is currently a big problem for the Russians. If they can't cross it, then it's only a matter of time before the Russians in the Rodinsky pocket, Shakova pocket, and Kucherov Yar pocket will be dealt with and ground down until they either die or surrender. So that's it. That's all I have for you this time around. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. As always, go på marsch, Ukraine, and give them hell.